A face, a fleet, a war, fiend. That's right, guys. I just watched The Odyssey, the newest movie directed by none other than Christopher Nolan. And man, I'm fiending for more. No, seriously though, I am going to tell you today why you should watch this and why in theaters, because you really do need to watch it there. Don't watch this at home when it comes out on streaming services or whatever. Watch it in theaters. You have 3 hours extra, just do it. And I'm happy that we got a Christopher Nolan movie where you don't have to look up ending explained when the movie is finished. The Odyssey is an almost 3,000-year-old story from Homer. It's a book, and this is its movie adaptation. It's about Odysseus, played by Matt Damon. He is the king of Ithaca. After fighting for 10 years in the Trojan War, he spends 10 years trying to get home. In these 10 years, he has to fight mythical monsters and angry gods, and he must also fight to reclaim his family and kingdom. This movie is beautiful in every way there is, from set design to cinematography to sound, the score that you hear. It has it all. But let me tell you about the cast first, because there are so many characters and actors in this movie. It's insane. Matt Damon is the lead and he plays Odysseus, and he does this very well. You can tell how lost he is after almost 20 years of being away from home. He's a very good lead, and I understand why Christopher Nolan works so much with Matt Damon. He just has the physique and the face and the talent. He just fits in this story and really brings out the character more. You don't hate the character as much because it's Matt Damon, and he's perfect for this role. And Odysseus has a son named Telemachus, played by Tom Holland, and I am very glad that he is now getting better roles and not just Spider Man. He does a great job as well. He never really knew his father, so he also goes on a journey to find him or get some information because he wants to know if his father is even alive. If he is alive, then Telemachus can become the king. But there are so many people in this cast that I was starting to question if I also am starring in this movie. I mean, did I forget that I even filmed some for it? Am I in the movie? I don't know. Other standouts for me are Elliot Page. He plays Sinon, who had to go to war instead of Antinous, played by Robert Pattinson. Antinos, I think I pronounced it right, switched places with Sinon because he is a pussy. Robert Pattinson does this so well. I mean, I swear one of these days Robert Pattinson is gonna win an Oscar. I hope he will get nominated for this, even though I think there are better roles that he has played, but I just want to see him win one because he definitely deserves to win an Oscar. This man can act. I also can't wait to see him as a villain again in Dune Part 3. He's also a villain in this movie. He wants to replace Odysseus by marrying Penelope, and Penelope is played by Anne Hathaway, who also is amazing in this and has good emotional roles. She brings depth to the character as well. Look, everybody does a good and believable job in this movie. I can talk about every individual character, but then I would be here for 20 years, unlike Odysseus. I will say, though, that the way Benny Safdie looked, I wish I could dress like that in real life. Just give me that armor. Infinity aura. Everywhere you go, you just look amazing. And I also like that earlier this year he played Bowser Jr., two completely different roles. Also, compliments to Travis Scott. I was expecting him to stand out in a bad way, but he even looked like he belonged there. He also worked with Nolan on Tenet, where he made the song The Plan. And now Travis also has a song for The Odyssey called When I'm Home. And I like the song. For some reason it fits, but Travis is not the first person that comes to mind when you think, oh, The Odyssey needs a song for the credits. Hmm. Travis Scott. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. But he does it very well, and it's not a large role. It's just a small part that he has, and it's just a couple of lines that you hear without seeing him most of the time. But he fits the character and the vibe of the movie or the time period that they're in. Now, still talking a little bit about the story here, but the adventures are or challenges that Odysseus faces, man, it's scary as hell. I knew of the story, but not like what happened. So when they got to the Cyclops or the giant people, I don't think I would survive this. And there are also there's real nasty body horror in this movie that most of the time in a horror movie, I don't really cringe anymore when seeing nasty stuff, but this made me go, it's insane what happens. But like I said, you got the Cyclops, you got giants, you got the entire Trojan horse scene, which is very good. I love the lighting in that scene and just seeing how things went down inside the horse. You meet Circe, a witch of some sort, and a giant whirlpool in the ocean. There are just so many things happening in this movie, and all of them are great in my opinion. Also, I just felt bad for the Cyclops, and I hope you will too when you watch this, or when you have watched this. Please let me know. Did you feel bad for him? Because I really did. But the way they use the gods in this story, that you can see some of them, or that you hear thunder when they talk about Zeus, or the way they are just involved in the story, it makes it so large of a story and so much is happening in it. But it feels like you're there with them for some reason, even though there are so many characters, and you think, well, I'm never gonna understand who is who, but you do. It's like you are with them there and you somehow understand everything. It just made me believe that they are all real. The reason that the men had to face all these threats, by the way, is on their way back, is because they angered the gods. So that's also a thing. And Zendaya playing Athena also has some very beautiful and meaningful moments and twists that I actually didn't expect. Just watch the movie, please. You will love it, please. Now, set design is also something that is great about Nolan movies. He uses real sets and suits of armor. Now, I know the armor isn't accurate to history, but I don't care. I just love the feeling of how real everything is, and it really gets you into the story that way. And sound design is amazing. When the Cyclops starts to scream, like I just said, it's terrifying. And the sound that comes out of that thing, it's very loud, but it's an original sound. I can't even describe what it sounded like, but when you hear it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's so well done. Also, I love the sound of the bows. It's very random for me to say, but I just think they sounded very great. They sounded like how I want a bow and arrow to sound. So, and the score composed by Ludwig Göransson, just everything about this movie fits perfectly together. Nothing feels out of place, and that score is amazing. Every time I was like, oh, I gotta remember where this part of the movie is and what the score maybe can be called, because I want to listen to this afterwards. Now, I did find it hard to understand at the beginning who is who because of the old names that the characters have, but slowly you understand who is who, and it will make sense. So don't get scared when you watch the movie that you will not understand the names, because I had that problem. Know who Menelaus or Telemachus and Eurylochus and all these characters, they sounded the same to me, or I didn't know who was who. But most of the time you see them when they talk about a certain character. So you really only need to remember the face of the character, and then it helps you, it moves it forward. Also, in the middle of the movie, I was already thinking that we were almost done, but it wasn't true. Not that it got boring, because the story keeps giving you new stuff to work with or to see, but at sometimes you do feel the length of the movie, but I would not take this as a negative thing about it. Which brings me to, what does my girlfriend think about the movie? She likes history. She was excited for this and also loved the movie. She does know some actors now who are in this, but she was mostly excited for Zendaya. She does have scenes throughout the movie, but not the most. But she wasn't disappointed with them. She did not like the scream of the Cyclops, which I understand, and she hates it when stuff happens to animals or specifically to dogs in movies, which happens, by the way. She thinks Robert Pattinson is a dick. Well, his character, at least. For all of the girlfriends out there, she thinks it's safe to watch this movie. If you are okay with history, well, movies about history, even though this is like not actually that, but time period movies, and are open for longer movies, because that was one of the worries for her. Maybe could be boring because it's almost 3 hours long, and then you have to sit through 3 hours of that thing that doesn't interest you. But she did, and she actually really liked it. Oh yeah, she didn't like some of the flashes of light because she started to get tired, not because she thought it was boring, like I said, but just because you gotta sit there like 3 hours. so you do get tired, of course. But overall, she likes it and she would give it 4 stars, so that's very great. Now, my rating of this movie, I gave it 5 stars. I was entertained, I was amazed with what I saw, and I had a good, great time. It had good action, it had horror, which I love, it had great characters and sets, great surprises. So, yeah, 5 stars, well deserved. And I'm predicting right now that Matt Damon will get nominated for an Oscar. I also hope that one day Robert Pattinson gets nominated. So I hope it happens with this role. But I feel a lot of nominations are coming from the Odyssey, specifically. I think from John Leguizamo. I think that's how you pronounce it. He plays Eumeus. It's a blind guy. I think he is gonna get nominated for Best Supporting Actor because he just also did an amazing job. The movie also goes to the first spot for this year's ranking of movies that I saw this year, which means this for Project Hail Mary.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Which also means that Benny Safdie is now in the worst and in the best movie that I saw this year. And like I say throughout the video, just go watch this in theaters. It makes it so much better. Don't wait till it goes to streaming, please. But let me know what you thought of the movie. Have you even watched the Odyssey yet, or are you still going to? And let me just know what you think of it. Well, I will see you all next time, but I will not wait 20 years to do that. So, and I'm feeding for more. Take it away, Travis.